Atamari koutou. I'm Joanne Hakaraia Olsen and welcome to my channel. Coming to you live every weekday morning at 7 a.m. And thank you for joining me. Thank you for being here with me. So today we're going to talk about a couple of plants that can support us as we move through all this solar activity that is still happening, that is still occurring. Couple of the plants. So one of the plants we've already talked about this week, which is Mapo, which is the rako behind me. Mapo being a fire plant, being fire energy, so they would cancel each other out. So Mapo is one of the plants that can support us. And when I talk about support us, I'm talking about sitting with the plant energetically, being able to tune in or be around the plant to be able to support you from an energetic perspective. So Mapo, sitting with that fire energy, is one way of connecting to that plant. Another plant that can support us is Kawakawa. So I'm going to start with Kawakawa, because when there is a lot of solar activity and huge solar activity, it can have an impact on our hearts and our brain, our hearts and our head. So with that, there are plants that can support us to be able to move through any sensations that you might be having. So with the heart, I know for myself, it starts to palpate a little bit faster. It quickens. I get lots of energy, power bursts, that kind of thing with the heart. So one way to work with with Kawakawa is by working with the energy of that plant, by working with the energy of the plant to be able to help to soothe and settle that area. So Kawakawa is known to work with the blood and to clean the blood, and in that way it tones the heart. It sort of flushes new nutrients and oxygen to the heart, giving it the minerals and nutrients that it needs, and also the oxygen that the heart needs as well. So that's what Kawakawa does physically. Spiritually or energetically, the energy of the Kawakawa does that as well, but from an energetic space. So how does Kawakawa work with the heart from an energetic level? It helps you to purge the heart, purge any emotions that you might want to work with, that you might want to let go of. So that could be anything that is energetically connected to the heart. So some things could be grief, some things could be sadness, heartbreak, past relationships, breaking up in relationships, anything to do with the heart emotionally. Kawakawa, sitting with the Kawakawa energy of the Kawakawa, can help to purge that. And so purging of the heart means that the memory or you're opening the door basically to the heart to allow the memory to come up, to be acknowledged, and then to be released. So that is how we can use Kawakawa to support us energetically of the heart. Another plant that I want to talk about, I just want to pick this card up because it dropped on the floor, and we'll probably talk about this one shortly. Another plant that I wanted to talk about is kohikohe. And kohikohe works with our whare tangata, with our creative space, with anything to do with creation, inspiration, ideas, birthing ideas, that kind of thing. Kohe kohe works in that area. So physically, kohe kohe works with the whare tangata, and also with our tāne, with our men. The kohe kohe also works in that area as well, with the creative space there. And so kohe kohe can work with both male and female. And what kohe kohe does from an energetic perspective is that it helps to clear those pathways, the channels to creativity, for production, for reproduction, for inspiration, for being able to allow ideas to come through, to be birthed. And the reason why, because, ideas come through from the hinengaro, from the brain, from the mind, from the head, whatever you want to call it, the ideas come through. So solar activity gives you insights. It can have an impact, a not so nice impact on us with our head, because it can feel quite heady, but that's because there's lots of upgrades going on and lots of information coming in, and most of us don't do anything with it. We try to block it out, or we might take aspirin or something to try and let that pain go. But if we allow the energy to do its natural course in a gentle way, using plants that can support us, then that process will be a lot easier. So it's about opening the channels to allow things to move through us. And kohe kohe is a plant that can actually help us to move stuff through our creative channels. Just because our whare tangata, or our creative, or the womb, or whatever is on our physical body down here, the spiritual, the wairua, the energy doesn't know that it's there. It is everywhere. It's imbued in every part of us. So it's not separate. It's not segmented in our body. So, gosh, I hope I made sense then. In my head, it made sense. So just when ideas come through, when solar activity comes through, we want to open those channels to allow it to move through us. And then when it gets to our creative source, it's able to move through that channel to be able to birth into the physical reality. And kohe kohe is one of those plants that can do that. So just wanted to share. You don't have to use it as a medicine. Just sit with the plant and connect with it. That's all that's required, and to just sit with the energy, just like you would if you were sitting with a crystal. So that's what I wanted to talk about, the plants, those plants that can support us today in working with the solar activity. But we moved into the crystal, and I wanted to talk about, why do you work with crystals? What is the purpose of a crystal? What is your, what do you use crystals for? These are the questions. So I got asked these questions yesterday. It was really funny. I was talking to a friend, Jill, you watched this channel, and I was talking to her about the Lemurian energy and how it's really coming in strong. Lemurian and Pleiadian is there. And she said, what are you going to do with it? And I thought that was a great question, because you hear lots of people doing stuff with Lemurian energy and opening portals and doing all of these things. But, if you don't know what you're doing, I think it's best to really start to question your connection to crystals and why you actually use them, why you actually work with them, and what is the purpose. It's really, really important. And that also goes to energy that you work with as well, like Lemurian energy or any other energy that you work with. What is the purpose? Is there good intentions behind it? And are there good intentions behind it? And is it coming from a space of divinity, a space of sacredness? So that was a great question, Joel, and I'm glad you asked that, because it was my lead-in for today's kōrero, is why do we use crystals? Why do you use crystals? What is your purpose for using crystals? So I'm going to talk about this crystal. I mean, look at this crystal. This is a Lemurian crystal, and I've been playing with it. It's just beautiful. And I bought this crystal after I bought the card set, because of the Lemurian energy, and I bought it as a tool to be able to elevate myself to that energy, to be able to help me to elevate to that energy. And so then I questioned, well, why do I want to elevate myself to that energy? And I thought about it, and I thought, well, why wouldn't you? Why do people work with a crystal? Why do people use crystals? And I thought about, well, why do I want to elevate myself to this crystal? And then I realized that, we, just like the plants, I teach that we can become the plants for healing in our practices. We don't have to work physically with the plants when we're treating somebody. If you've got a really strong connection with the plants, and they're like your best friend, and you know them really well, and they know you well, and they might come to you in dreams and visions, and they're showing you how to work with them. You can actually bring that energy into any treatment, any space that you are working in, because you've got that connection. You can bring in the MAURI of kohe and allow them to do their energetic work with whoever you're working with, or in whatever space that you require a plant to work in. And it could be anything. It could be clearing a space. It could be bringing a higher vibration to a space for people to just immerse themselves in that plant energy. And what I've learned over the years is that you don't have to choose a plant to come in. When you start to build a relationship with a lot of plants or a group of plants, you have your favorite plants. You have your favorite plants that you work with, and they choose to come into the space when you require them. And when I realized that it takes you don't have to do anything, just allow the plants to do what they do, and you don't have to choose the plant. The plant will come in. They know what energy the person requires, or the space requires, or you yourself requires. So, and it's the same with crystals. I don't know too much about crystals. I don't know their botanical name, but I do know energy, and I do know when something is talking to me. I do know, like, this kōrero right now is coming from this crystal, is helping me to tune into what I need to kōrero about. But it's the same with crystals, I'm being told, is that you can use the energy to elevate yourself and to help others also. You don't have to have the crystal with you, but it does help to be able to look at it and admire it, because I'm doing this, because I'm building a relationship with this crystal. I'm building a relationship so that we can work together. So when I first picked up this crystal, my fingers snapped. They cracked, and I thought, oh, I think I've got to take you with me. And to me, was clearing the static energy, wherever that was in my body. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this crystal today and to ask you, and please post below, comment below about what you use crystals for and what crystals you do use, because I find it really interesting. The mineral kingdom is very, very strong right now, and the mineral kingdom is very, very strong. Yes, so this is a beautiful crystal. I'm really happy that I have this. I have a lot of work to do with this one. And just going back, just while we're touching on that, I pulled a card from this deck this morning, and this is the card that came up. I'll put you down there. Isn't that blue flame? Gosh, this Danielle Knoll is the artist, and she's really captured the blue flame. So this is the card that was pulled today about what the kōrero was going to be about. And the blue flame is about spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. So spontaneous awakening. We all know what awakening is. And from this card, what I got is that you know, the universe is sped up really, really quickly, and people are just, I don't even know, they are waking up. I was going to say, I don't even know if I like that term anymore. I think they're just becoming who they are, like they're letting go of old beliefs. You know, you can really, really see it. You can see the you know, the chaos and the confusion is all about letting go of stuff, beliefs and things that is causing a lot of panic and confusion. And so that's part of the process. You go through a kind of like a denial, because all of a sudden what you knew is no longer true, and something else is trying to come through, like the truth, and things are being dropped away. And so you go through kind of like a grieving period, because you're trying to work out how you're going to, what it looks like on the other side. I know I did this for myself. I kind of sort of could see how things were going for myself, and I thought, gosh, what does that look like, and how does my life look like? How is my life going to be? And it's real sitting with truth and honesty and the guts of things, and it can be a tough process. So just be very gentle on yourself and just go as gently as possible. Spontaneous awakening. Yes. Okay, there's a spontaneous awakening happening, but also just be mindful of the stuff that's being dropped away. I think we have to support everybody that's going through this process. We really have to be there for others at this time, because a lot of people don't realize what's happening, and we can support them by just listening, by just opening, being a space for them, being a sacred space for them to talk, to let things out. So yeah, I think we will, 20 minutes. They're getting longer and longer. So I think we'll end this kōrero today. So ngā mihi nui ki a kōrua. And our beautiful rākau, thank you for coming through today. And I just want to say today's Friday, so I won't be back until Monday. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. It's new moon on Sunday, and I believe there's a solar eclipse happening somewhere. So the energy today feels really good. It feels really good. Just go gentle on yourself. That's all I can say. And nurture yourself. Don't forget to have a bath, a relaxing bath, and put Epsom salts. Don't forget to have a miri-miri. Don't forget to have a massage or even a foot bath, or put some nice essential oils or something. Don't forget to nurture yourself as well, to really bring it back to you, because we can give and give and give, and then you've got nothing to give back to yourself when you really, really need it. So when you've got lots of energy, don't forget to remind yourself to bring it back to yourself as well. Give back to you. Okay. Ngā mihi nui ki a koutou katoa. Ka kite anō. Have a wonderful weekend.